Hello and good morning. Welcome to the MLM Lunchtime Leadership Show. So before we get started, we're going to go ahead and go tag some people here. So Jeff, I'll have you do that.
I'm the tagger.
Yes, that is your job.
I feel like I'm in gym class again. Go tag some people. Way to play tag in martial arts.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, you had to hit them before they hit you.
Oh.
It was actually sparring class, but he called it tag.
That's funny.
I will hit you with a technique that's faster than the technique you're throwing at me.
Oh my.
And whoever hits first gets the point.
Oh my word.
You were supposed to use control when you did it, but of course once somebody got hit, it was just like all out. You were trying to punch to the back of somebody's head. I got whacked a couple good ones. They usually put me with the black belts even though I was like halfway down the level. He's like, eh. They're like, you need, the teacher was always like, well, he needs beat on a little bit.
Well, based on the stories that your mom told me, I can believe that.
My teacher got me the worst though.
Oh,
he
did
kept
he?
saying, don't follow through, don't follow through, don't follow through. And I went for this thing and he whacked me.
Funny.
I kind of jumped up and he like backed up and I'm like, what's going on? He's like, no. He goes, when a lot of times when people get hit that hard, their adrenaline pumps and they come after you. So I was just making sure. I was like, no, I'm not upset. I'm just ready to go again. He's like, okay, good. Okay, best is here.
Alrighty, here we go. So, we have been going over John Maxwell's book, Winning with People, and today we're on the number 10 principle, which is believing in the best in people will usually bring out the best of people. So, some people need a little extra push from others for them to believe in themselves. And sometimes it's hard for people to believe in themselves, depending on how they grew up and the people that they've been around all their lives. And sometimes you taking that extra effort to believe in somebody helps them believe in themselves. So keep away from people who try to belittle your ambitions, and small people always do that. But the really great make you feel that you too can be great, and that was by Mark Twain. So you want to ask yourself, do I believe the best of others? So there was about 5 things that John went over about this. And number 1 is everybody wants to be somebody. Everybody wants to feel like their life matters and what they're doing matters. And feeling like they belong to some type of group or some group of people. So that's one of the things you have to keep in mind. Everybody wants to be somewhere, whether you're an introvert or extrovert. Everybody needs that sense of belonging. Number 2, nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. So too often we want to help people with what we know instead of caring about them because of who they are. Are your intentions pure? Do you really care about these people? You gotta think about that. And if you don't care about the people that you're around, you gotta ask yourself why. Sometimes when people have a hard time liking other people, because there are some bitter people out there, granted there's some crazy people out there too, but if you start in noticing that you're feeling like you don't like people, you need to get to the root of exactly why that is. Is it something that you're actually struggling with? Are people irritating you? Or are you around the wrong people? Or is the issue with you? If you're around the wrong people, you need to distance yourself from those people and get around the right people. Sometimes you need to take that time alone just to get that space to go find the right people. But if the issue's with you, you really need to look into why exactly that is. So number 3, everybody needs somebody. So some people need others to believe in them first before they believe in themselves. I've pretty much already gone over that. And same thing, whether you're an introvert or extrovert, everybody always needs that one person that they can go be with and feel comfortable with. Number 4, anybody that helps somebody influences a lot of bodies. So when you help one person, it overflows to the lives of others. Because once you give somebody something John talked about in this chapter, a teacher who went to the bad side of town and started helping all these kids. Now, the graduation rate for this school was very, very low, because the kids would basically get out of school as quickly as they could without actually graduating. And she managed to influence this one student where he was part of this group of guys. He was the class clown, and there was a group of 4. Since she got to him and made the connection with him, showed him that she actually cared about him, he started paying more attention to his studies. And when he started doing it, it then trickled into the lives of his friends too, and they started to work hard as well. So sometimes you don't always see the changes, but once you change one person's life, it trickles to somebody else's. You may be changing a child's life, you may be changing a spouse's life. All of these things trickle down. Number 5, somebody today will rise up and become somebody. So every day is an opportunity to make a difference. I got it. Nope, it's gone. Had to sneeze, but it's not there anymore. Anywho. Dang, it's just lingering there. Ooh, excuse me. Anywho, so somebody today will raise up and become somebody. So every day is an opportunity to reach out to someone and make a connection somewhere and show everybody that you care. Now, you don't have to bombard people every single day, because there is such thing as overkill. Because I always can tell when people are trying to practice this, which is good, but you're doing too much. Like tagging people in 20 posts a day is way overkill. Going and liking 50 pictures at one time and blowing up somebody's notifications is too much. Just like 1 or 2 and then be done. But there is such thing as overkill. Like, you do want to make it so people notice that that you care, but you don't want to do too much, because then it becomes not this person cares about me, but it becomes, what do you want from me? So it's something to be conscious of. Now, sending personal messages to people, like there are messages that, like, we're able to tag people in articles on Facebook, but when you find an article and when you talk to people about different subjects, because John teaches, you want to figure out what people like, what they're into, and then you want to be able to read. And then when you find something that they might really enjoy, you want to send it to them directly to show, hey, this is something I just read. I'm just thinking of you, and I thought you would really enjoy this. People like that. Not just tagging them, because everybody does that, but sending them a personal message along with the article and saying, hey, this is something you might enjoy. Or tagging people in pictures, like when your newsfeed Facebook pops up old pictures, like being able to tag people like, hey, this is when we went to our first concert, or this was our first meeting, this was our first convention, and tagging the people that were with you during that time. And it means a lot more to people, because it makes them feel special, because you went out of your way that day to send them that. So with that, that is what I got for this part of the chapter. So Jeff, I'm going to turn it over for It's Better to Believe.
Okay, Sarah Goode is here. Francis, I saw Aaron Rashkin jumped on. Best, Dwayne. What's happening? Kevin Chambers was here. What's going on? So say hi if you can. Let us know where you're joining us from, meaning like city, state, country, because we have people who jump on here from all over the place, so we appreciate that. Mm-hmm. And now I'm going to go back to my thing. Okay, so here's what I got out of it. Believing the best in people usually brings out the best of people. So see a man the way he is, he only gets worse. See a man the way he could be, and he becomes what he should be. I don't know who wrote it, but I just remember that. Somebody used to say that all the time. So belief in people is huge. If you don't believe in people, and this starts with little kids, right? Mm-hmm. Believing in little kids, because you can tell somebody by like junior high, the people who constantly got bombarded by, you're not a good person, you're not doing this right, you're not doing that right, and a feeling of self-worth. I mean, that's really what this is about. Keep away from people who try to belittle your ambitions. People who usually are putting others down and trying to make themselves look bigger. Typically, it's a low self-esteem issue. Hello. So,
Small people always do that, and really great people make you feel good. That's how you become great. That's Mark Twain. So the question I must ask myself, Brandy went through some of these. Everybody wants to be somebody. So Mary Kay Ash said, people will forget what you say, but they'll always remember how you made them feel. So it's really about building people up. One of the guys that I worked with directly, if you're looking at this principle from, actually two guys. If you're looking at this principle from direct sales, network marketing, recruiting, team building, what it really comes down to is not just believing in people, but making them feel better. If you make them feel better, they do better. Actually, that came from a friend of mine, Tim. But another guy that used to run around with, he's passed now. Phil's here. What's happening, sir? Another guy that we worked with used to do this. He's like, you need to learn how to compliment people. He's like, not, generic BS flattery, but find out what people are good at, find out what people are skilled at, and he goes, you want to identify and compliment that. He's like, and he used to joke about this. He's like, if you see, somebody's, women, it's easier to do this with, wow, that's an amazing, hairdo. He's like, they will wear that hairdo until it rots off their head. He goes, if you tell a guy, hey, that's a sharp tie, sharp suit, he's like, they will wear that. That's their sharp suit now. They will wear that every single day, just to be able to compliment. And everybody's good at something. So it's kind of a skill in business that if you can learn how to use it. Now, there's a way to overkill, like Brady was talking about, where somebody goes in and likes 700 of your pictures in one day. So I actually learned this from a really skilled marketer. It's called 531. 5 likes, 3 comments, and 1 share. 5 likes, 3 comments on different things. Hey, I like this, I want to take this, I want to use this, and 1 share. You then build interest because it's different things that you're doing. Also, it will send different notifications. So if you're in marketing and you want to reach out to somebody and you want to get their attention, it's 5 likes. So you're going through their feed, you see 5 different things you like, then 3, comments. Hey, this is really cool. Hey, I'm going to take this. I'm going to use this. Now, you don't like the same picture 5 times. You don't comment on the same picture 5 times. It's different stuff. And then the last one is, hey, I want to share this. You share it. And then at that point, you kind of have enough to be able to reach out and it makes sense. Jim's here. Ellen's here. Hello. Ellen, we are meeting tomorrow. So that's going to be good to get everything up and rolling. And we need to call today. So that's the next thing I need to do once I get off here. We need to call corporate and make sure your sale went through on for you instead of corporate. Nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. So that's what I was talking about. Everybody needs somebody. So that's just support. I think more than anything, people need support. You need kind of somebody that has your back. And that's really what you want to do. You want to find someone up the chain of command. If you're in direct sales, you want to find somebody that's doing what you're doing, or what you need to find somebody that's at where you want to be, that's ahead of you. You cannot get coached by somebody at your same level. You cannot be coached by somebody at your same level. If you try to do that, you're fooling yourself, and that's not going to work out real well in most cases. So, Larry Smith, hello, sir. So that's just something you want to look into when you're going to go in and coach. Angela's here, hello. So when you're going to go in and coach somebody, you want to find somebody that's above your level, somebody who has what you want, somebody who's doing what you're doing. And the closer in the field, sometimes, and I know we're talking about, recruiting and training, and that could be prospecting, that could be real estate, that could be insurance. So sometimes it's not direct. In network marketing, in direct sales, you can actually go up the line of command and find somebody. And that person ideally would be in your same line of sponsorship. Now, the reason you always want it to be in your same line of sponsorship is I've watched people go to a third party, meaning a leg that's not connected to their lineage of sponsorship, and the person gives them great information if they were on their team. But they're not on their team, and the systems aren't set up the same, and the teams aren't set up exactly the same. So what they end up doing is they get great advice if they weren't on that team, and then, that affects them. It's something called cross-lining. Cross-lining is basically going to someone else, some other leader's group to get information on how to build your company. If they can't see what's going on in your business, typically it's not the best person. Not saying that their information's bad, it's just not the best person to learn from. And that's why, speakers are picked for markets. Back when I first did this, it was all team-based. The team kind of was the one who was training you, not the company. Because if the company trains you and they just grab anybody and throw them in there, they can actually screw up the organization. Why? because people are running in 50 different directions and every team builds differently. Just like, could you imagine, in football analogy, if you are into sports, if the NFL has however many teams right now they have no teams because nobody's playing, but back when they did, if all the teams were set up, could you imagine the coaches just going around, the defensive coach going to a different team and saying, hey, this is what you should do, but they have a completely offensive kind of lineup? They would get the wrong advice. It would be the right, I feel like Arnold Schwarzenegger, be the wrong advices. I'm going to give them all the wrong advices. But basically, you're giving out correct information that's the wrong advice for that person. So you have to be careful who you're taking information from, especially in the field of sales, direct sales, network marketing, recruiting, training, whether that's real estate, whether that's insurance. Somebody today will rise up and become somebody. So there's always people that are looking for just that spark. There are always people who are looking for that compliment, that, connection, that caring. And when they get it, that's when they take off. And they're just sitting there. A lot of them are in the organization now. That's why it's easier, and I found this through another person, it's easier to recruit people from other organizations when you're consistently seeing what they do well and complimenting them. It has nothing to do with actually presenting your product, service, or whatever. What happens is they see you helping them by really helping them, not by presenting them and trying to get them. One of the guys I worked with, he recruited an enormous amount of people from other companies, and it wasn't so much that he attacked them or went after them. It was just the fact that he was doing the right things, and he was always, just doing what he did, seeing the best in people, complimenting them, and people naturally wanted to come on board and be on his team. And they would contact him and say, hey, how do I sign up with you? They don't even know what he does. But he would get those. I would sit with him and I'd see those messages. But he was just constantly, how can I help? What do you. And it wasn't like he was going out of his way to specifically he would scroll through and somebody would connect. He also connected to every single person that he met that was in his field. I thought that was smart. He connected, he's like, look, at some point, and he gave me the statistic. He look, this is the number of companies that go under. This is the number of leaders that leave. At some point, there may be a point where that person loses their company, loses their product line, this is business. And he goes, if I'm the one that they've always been connected to and they want to stay in the industry, they're going to come to me. And this guy recruited thousands of people. It was genius. So that's the tip for what we do. So if this kind of information is helpful, if you like it, the best way to get more of it is Bess, myself, Brandy. We run a school online, the MLM Millionaire Academy. We can put a link somewhere on this page below. If you're watching the replay, it's below. And what you can do is, or reach out to us, instant message us, and we can send you information on that. Because Sundays we go over basics on how all this works. If you are trying to recruit, if you are trying to build a team, we teach a class on basics. Here's the 10 things you need to know. And I'll be real honest, if you don't know these 10 things and you don't know them in order, it's going to be a lot harder to build. And then we teach leads on Wednesday. So different levels of the class. There's some other things we're coming out with. So with that, I'll turn this over to you, Brandy. Wrap it up.
Sounds good. So if you guys would like the notes for these books, we're taking notes on each chapter. So if guys would like us to send those to you, I will put a link below where you can put in your email And go ahead and follow us on our YouTube channel. So I'm downloading all of these onto our YouTube, so that way you could go, if you want to go back to the previous books that we've already gone over, you could go do that. I know I'm a little bit behind on uploading. I was doing this yesterday and our internet went out. So it will be done here shortly. We will be caught up here in a little bit. So be patient with us, and we will see you guys tomorrow.
David Barker, how are you? Hope things are going well, staying healthy, and we'll talk to you real soon.